Tesla think the Model 2 is too much to handle. Volvo changes the name of 2 of its models mid-cycle, and 88,000 people pre-ordered in the first 24 hours a car made by the people who bought you hairdryers and mobile phones. That and more in That Was the Week That Was in Cars. Hi there, I'm Max, and this is That Was the Week That Was in Cars, where we take a look at the big car stories of the last 7 days. So if you want to keep up with all the latest, be sure to click subscribe and click the bell icon so you always get notified whenever I load up new content. Right then, let's get to it. Tesla have been reported to be planning to scrap the launch of the Model 2. Thought to be a key rival to the likes of the VW ID.2 and the Renault 5, it was going to sit on an all-new platform and retail for around £25,000. Reuters, who initially broke the story, claim multiple sources involved within the project that the platform that they were going to use will now form the basis of an autonomous taxi. It comes off the back of strong competition coming from the likes of China in the sub 30 grand electric car market, with the likes of the MG4 and the BYD Dolphin. To meet the required cost savings that would make the car viable, Tesla were looking to introduce a new production method called unboxed. This is where the amount of work that would be required at every stage of the production line would be reduced. But even with that in place, it was deemed that the costs are still too high to be able to compete. When asked about the report, Tesla refused to comment. However, Elon Musk did respond by posting on X that Reuters was dying. What this will mean for people who are wanting a smaller, cheaper Tesla is kind of up in the air now. But when you set an ambition of making 700 million units, maybe this was one ambition a bit too far. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In Sweden, however, Volvo have gone and given their XC40 and C40 new names. The mild hybrid petrol XC40 will keep the nameplate, but the electric version will be now known as EX40 and the C40 will be now known as EC40. The new names bring the models in line with the existing lineup of EX30, EX90 and EM90. E being electric, X for SUV, C for coupe and M for minivan. Pricing for the EX40 will start at $45,955 for the 235 horsepower 69 kilowatt-hour single motor variant. This will go on to achieve 296 miles on a WLTP cycle, with power being sent to the rear wheels. There's then a longer range version with an 89 kilowatt-hour battery that will give 248 horsepower and 343 miles. That'll cost from $47,705. There'll then be the range-topping twin-motor setup, which will set you back £57,805, and that will give you 402 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 4.8 seconds. But if that's not enough, Volvo will even sell you a performance pack, which will raise power to 436 horsepower. It includes a new pedal map for a quicker response and a performance drive mode. This will also become available for existing twin motor electric XC40 owners, but a date and a price haven't been set yet. So what do you think of these new names? Does it make it easier to understand the range now? Or did you think the old XC40 Recharge name made more sense? Sound off in the comments below. Chinese electronics giant Xiaomi took the covers off their first car, the SU7, back in December, and they put it on sale back on the 28th of March this year. And on the first day, they saw over 88,000 orders, and at the time of recording this, that's well over 100,000. But if you want one, you need to be in China and expect to wait over 8 months for it. Xiaomi are hoping to ramp up production of its Super Saloon at the state-owned BAIC plant in Beijing up to 10,000 units a month, which will bring it up pretty much to capacity. But it's easy to see why there's so much demand for this car, which, when you consider once converted into pounds, costs about 24 grand. For that, you get a saloon car that is almost 5 meters long, a 294 horsepower electric motor, sending power to the rear wheels, 434 miles of range and a 0 to 60 time of 5.3 seconds. For the base model, for about £3,000 more, you then get the Pro model. That gives you a 94.3 kilowatt hour battery and about 515 miles of range. But then for £34,000, you get the Max version. And Naturally, the best version was always going to be named after me. And for that, you get 664 horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of 2.78 seconds, but unfortunately you only get a measly 497 miles. To put that into perspective, that is Porsche Taycan levels of performance for VW ID3 money. Currently, there are no plans to sell this car outside of China, so don't expect to see one in Europe anytime soon, but if it does change, I will let you know. In other news, Renault took the covers off its facelifted version of the Captur. The B-segment SUV sees a very new front end, a infotainment screen that now features Google services, first seen on the likes of the Megane and the Austral, and the introduction of the Esprit Alpine trim. The existing powertrain options of a 90 horsepower 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol with a 6-speed manual and a 145 horsepower 1.6 litre petrol hybrid with an automatic have been confirmed to be remaining in the lineup, and the car is expected to go on sale in dealers in around Q3 later this year. The Japanese have also been at it with Suzuki revising their B-segment SUV, the Vitara. The car that originally came out in 2015 has seen some revisions to the headlamps as well as to the bumper, including new black trim that's designed to look like bull bars on the front. Inside, there's a new 9-inch infotainment display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, as well as the ability for the use of the Suzuki app. There will be a new colour palette as well as 2-tone paint options. Engine choices remain as they were before. That means we see 127 horsepower 1.4 litre mild hybrid petrol with a 6-speed manual gearbox and 113 horsepower 1.5 litre hybrid engine with a 6-speed automatic. Both powertrains can be spec'd with the option of Suzuki's all-grip all-wheel drive system with selectable drive modes, and the car is expected to land with dealers in the summer. Currently, Suzuki GB haven't confirmed any plans to launch the car into the UK, but if they don't, that will probably be a news story in itself. And finally, back to Sweden, where Polestar have confirmed the name of its 2 replacement, the 7. Not to be confused with cars of a similar name. It follows on from Polestar's chronological naming scheme where every car then receives the next number in the lineup. So we're not going to see a 2 replaced with a 2, it will be replaced with the next number, in this case 7. The 7 will follow on from the Supercar 6 and the Tesla Model S rivaling 5. Unlike the 2, which was a rebadging exercise of what was going to be the Volvo V40, the 7 is going to be a ground-up Polestar design. Also, unlike the 2, which was built on the CMA platform, the 7 is expected to be built on the SEA2 platform, which underpins the likes of the Volvo XC30 and the Smart #1. So that pretty much covers all of your news for this week. If you think I've missed something or you have an opinion on what I've said in today's video, then be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you've liked this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd click subscribe and click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I load up new content. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. That was the week that was in cars. I'm Max, and I'll see you on the next one.